So here's where the 5 essentials can also help, even when it comes to things like APOE. Regular, moderate to vigorous physical activity reduces the risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia by approximately 28 to 45%. So if you have one of those APOE genes, if you had 1 copy and your risk increased 30%, but you work out on a regular basis, well, you just trumped that increased risk by decreasing it 45%, right? So this is where this is helpful to understand. A low inflammation whole food diet, specifically the Mediterranean diet, is often recommended. Significantly reduces Alzheimer's risk for APOE4 carriers, with studies showing up to 35% reduced risk of dementia. So imagine if you're on a low inflammatory whole food diet, you're exercising regularly, even if you have both copies of that gene, you're canceling out some of the more common risk factors. And then sleep, if you prioritize your sleep, poor sleep increases risk by 30 to 70%, while protecting deep sleep, if you make sure you're getting the deep sleep portions of your night, it can actually lower your risk even further.
How can you make yourself deep sleep?
Yeah.
Don't take Benadryl.
Yeah.
Well, I sleep, and I sleep, to me, soundly, but my smartwatch says I get like 2 minutes of deep sleep. So
Yeah, that's a problem. Something is interrupting your sleep where you're not able to get into the deep sleep. We're gonna talk a little bit about what happens in deep sleep and why that one is so important. Deep sleep generally happens in the first half of your night. So there are some things like how long you're sleeping that can affect it. If you're getting woken up before you get into the deep sleep portion. I have some ideas we can talk later and see. But that's why I love those trackers, and my Ring tracks my sleep, just because you wouldn't know that about yourself unless you're looking at your stats and seeing where your sleep quality is.
I can't wear it. It drives me crazy.
It
I
does.
will be awake the whole night just
Feeling your
fighting
weight on
with
your
my
head.
watch.
I don't wear the watch.
Might be
but I wear
better
the
to
Ring
go
to bed. It
get
really
a
helps
ditch
me.
to watch.
Exactly. That's why I don't wear it.
Don't worry about it.
So here's some
That's the problem.
top 5.
Oh,
I mean, I probably could have added another 5 also, but 5 brain busters that are affecting our brain negatively that a lot of people are doing. So the brain shrinking diet, insulin dysregulation, glyphosate exposure, stress and cortisol, and sleep apnea, and how those are affecting our brain negatively.
what is glyphosate?
Glyphosate, it's a herbicide.
Roundup.
Roundup. The way a lot of people know
Can you
it.
go back on that one? I didn't see it.
We're gonna also talk about each of these topics here too.
Oh, okay. Insulin. That was just the precursor. Glyphosate.
Oh, were you still I'm sorry.
Well, you're gonna discuss each one.
Yeah, to talk about them.
Stress. Okay. All right, I'm good.
All right. The brain shrinking diet is basically following the standard American diet. I was really encouraged
McDonald's.
that just this year we have flipped the food pyramid completely upside down, which is the way that a lot of people have been advocating it needed to be for 20, 30 years.
Yep.
It used to be that the majority of the foods you're eating were supposed to be lots of whole grains, and then at the very top was like protein and dairy, and what we really need is an inverse, where the majority of our foods are vegetables and fruits and good quality proteins, and then healthy fats, and at the bottom should be things like the grains. In fact, the high grain type diet, is responsible for a lot of health issues, including higher inflammation in the body. I've talked about this when we've done our metabolism workshops, but eating a piece of toast will raise your blood sugar higher than eating a small fun-sized candy bar. And it's the spikes in our blood sugar and how often we're getting them that leads to a lot of health issues, including inflammation in the body. And so really making sure that we get a lot of fiber when we do have things that have more sugar in them is important. That's why when God made the poison in fruit, the sugar, He gave us the antidote, which is also the fiber that you found in the actual fruit that you're eating, versus like just squeezing out all the juice and sugar and drinking the juice.
So the dietitian, my daughter-in-law, seen dietitian, and she was told that fiber offsets sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like
It
if
is
you
the
have
antidote.
5 grams fiber and 5 grams sugar, it's kind of like
Yeah, kind of basically kind of cancels out. It
cancel-
slows down the spike in our blood sugar when we have fiber there with it, and all the other benefits that fiber comes with it.
What's the examples of fiber?
Like, how do you get more fiber?
Yeah. What
Nuts and
spec-
seeds will give you good sources.
Nuts and what?
Legumes,
Seeds.
nuts and seeds. Legumes. You guys help me. Beans. You get fiber from obviously like vegetables. Broccoli, but like if you heavily steam your broccoli and it's really mushy, you're gonna get a lot less fiber than if you eat it like al dente, or even just eat a little bit of raw broccoli before you eat all the steamed broccoli. It's a good way to get some more fiber in. You can supplement with fiber, but getting it out of your food is the best way. And one of the best ways to increase your fiber is shopping the grocery store on the outskirts. The middle aisles of your grocery store is where you're gonna find the most processed foods, which I like to call, this like really helped me to think about it in a different way. I think of it as gas station food. So like if you can buy it in a gas station, that's the definition of an ultra processed food. Something that can sit on the shelf for months and it doesn't rot. Something that has a ton of preservatives, lots of unhealthy grains, lots of sugar, lots of unhealthy oils. Those are typically the things you're gonna find in the middle part of the aisle. So I have a challenge for you when it comes to your nutrition. I challenge you to have at least 3 meals where the only thing in your meal are the things that you get from the outset of the grocery store. So that means that your plate doesn't have any processed foods on it. It's just gonna have healthy protein and vegetables. Maybe it's got a side of beans or something there, but it's just real food, nothing that's been processed, not a bunch of sauces that have a bunch of added sugars or unhealthy oils, and start making more and more of the meals that look like that. In fact, go to the grocery store and try to avoid the middle aisles if you can at all. I know you might be able to have to get like olive oil or coconut oil or something along those aisles, but for the most part not to purchase any food there. We have nutrition plans. Most of you have this book, but if you don't, it's a resource for you, and we have them here. This is really helpful because it goes through the eating plans, the core eating plan and the advanced eating plan, and it has tons of recipes that are included in here. It's got all the ins and outs where we can't spend all the time going into every detail of the nutrition plan today. But it is important to have a plan and have a set standard of what you eat and what you don't eat. And I feel like these plans really make it easy because they focus on eating real food and the quality of our food. The core plan is great for everybody. It has more allowance. Like there's grains on there, but it's gonna outline what are the healthiest grains, what are the ones that are the most fiber dense, what are the ones that we should stay away from. And then the advanced eating plan is a lot more restrictive, but it is the healing diet. The advanced eating plan is not a forever nutrition plan. It's a, we do this until we reverse the disease. We do this until we hit our weight goal. It's one of the most effective ones because it's very anti-inflammatory. There is no added sugar, no grains. It's more difficult, and a lot of you did it with us at the beginning of the year for 30 days. So you know it was kind of tough in the beginning, and then you should have transitioned to the core plan when you were ready to at the end of that. But that 5 Essentials to Real Health book is a good resource if you don't have that to go through the nutrition plans. These are